So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about supplies. Mixed media, media arts can be very daunting as far as supply lists, and I've been afraid to actually compose one for you because you could probably break the bank. But I am assuming that most of you, as required for this class, are practicing artists, or to some degree you have your own little supply of art materials. We are going to work with that. I don't want you having to go out and buy a lot of things. I am all about making do and repurposing. I mean, we are in this COVID time together, and let's make things work. So for me, if you've taken one of my classes before, you know I'm about working within separate genres. So we'll be working on portraits, we'll be working on still lifes, we'll be working on landscapes, abstract, all of those things. But within those different genres, we will be exploring mediums and how we can put them together in different ways. If you don't have oil paint, you can do acrylic or watercolor. You have some sort of paint. We'll make that paint work. There's going to be certain projects that will involve maybe things that you don't have. I'm planning on one with gouache and ink, which will be really fun, but not necessary if you don't want to do it. So I am going to put a list up in the syllabus that you can consult. If you have questions, you can always email me about it, or we will have question and answer in our first Zoom class. But I don't want you going out and buying a lot of supplies first right off the bat. What you'll find is that I'm going to put in one class each week. I will load up the things the night before the week starts, and then you'll see what we have. But for this, since we are going to be doing different things, I'll give you a heads up a week in advance of different possible things you might want to consider having. Otherwise, I will give you also all sorts of options. So if you don't have a certain item, we'll give you replacement ideas, things that you can make work. So we'll see what we can do with this. It's going to be a lot of, I like to just sort of go as we go and plan as we go, because I want to give you guys what you really want and what you want to learn and be flexible in that. So I don't want to have a strict plan of, yes, we are definitely doing, collage on such and such. Collage is easy because everybody has paper and stuff, and you can make collage, so that was a bad example. But if you didn't want to do, for example, the gouache thing, gouache is something that not everybody owns, and there are cheap gouaches and expensive gouaches and all sorts of questions about gouache. I love it, but at the same time, if you don't have it, I don't want you to go out and buy a whole bunch. So hopefully that is clear. The one item, hopefully you have pencils, you have pens, you have markers, you have things around the house. Start gathering them. Look for fun papers and things you might want to use. Look for some item that you might have bought that you never tried yet and you want to know how it works. Maybe you have an ink collection and you want to see how those work, or certain pens. So I'll be showing you things as we go along. I'll be showing you some of my supplies all over the place. But the one thing that I do want you to have is a really good sketchbook. So a lot of this class isn't about, I don't want it to be craft projects. I don't want to go from project to project. We will do certain things that could be a project, but you could be doing so much of it in a sketchbook. So a good sketchbook with mixed media paper, so something with very thick paper that you can do your things in, and it almost acts like, this is like super thick sheets. I'll show you, this is a really good one, but there's others out there. But if you take a look at sketchbooks out there that are specifically for mixed media, that's what you want. You'll be able to paint in this, you'll be able to collage in this, you'll be able to have a whole collection by the end of this course. This will be filled to the brim with different techniques that you've explored and learned. That's the goal, is to have that. If we have some projects that are outside of this book, that's all great and that's gravy, but this is the meat of the class that I would love for you to have and start putting together for yourself. It'll be a valuable resource that you can go to for years to come. So hopefully you will get that by the beginning of class. Anything else, we'll just start gathering. Get a box, start putting your things in, or in one space. If you have a little studio space carved out of your home or something, just start putting all your materials in one place so you know what your options are. Find them in the garage, find them wherever you have them stacked and stored, back of the closets, and bring them all out and get ready for some fun.